Today we're talking about a moment that shook the world of business. A moment that made even the most optimistic entrepreneurs pause and reflect on what it really means to build something meaningful. It all started with a single heartfelt decision, one that would ripple far beyond the walls of a single company. On September 17, 2025, Jerry Greenfield, co-founder of Ben & Jerry's, announced he was leaving the company he helped build from a tiny Vermont scoop shop into a global icon. For decades, Jerry and his partner Ben Cohen had been the faces of a brand that stood for more than just ice cream. It stood for activism, for joy, and for a belief that business could make the world a better place. This wasn't a quiet retirement. It was a public stand, a statement that echoed through boardrooms and break rooms alike. Jerry's departure sent shockwaves, not just through the ice cream world, but through anyone who believed business could be a force for good. Employees, fans, and even competitors felt the impact, wondering what this meant for the future of values-driven companies. In his open letter, Jerry explained he could no longer be part of a company whose independent voice, he felt, had been taken away by its corporate parent, Unilever. He spoke candidly about the struggle to maintain the brand's original mission in the face of mounting corporate pressures. This isn't just a boardroom spat. It's about whether a company can stay true to its values when it becomes part of something much bigger. It's about the tension between profit and purpose, and the real cost of losing your voice. Jerry's exit is a warning. The soul of Ben & Jerry's, its independent spirit, is in danger. The empty chair he leaves behind is more than a symbol. It's a question mark hanging over the company's future. He says the promise that protected the brand's mission has been broken. The trust that once set Ben & Jerry's apart now feels fragile, and employees are left wondering what comes next. This is the story of a founder forced to leave his own creation behind, a bittersweet farewell to a dream that once inspired millions. It's a heartbreaking moment that raises tough questions about the future of companies that mix business with a social conscience. Can ideals survive in a world ruled by shareholders and quarterly reports? When someone like Jerry Greenfield speaks up, it's time to listen. His words are a call to action for anyone who believes business can and should stand for something more. The era of Ben & Jerry's as we knew it may be over, but the questions Jerry raised will echo for years to come, challenging us all to rethink what it means to do business with heart. To understand why Jerry's departure matters, you have to look deeper than just the headlines. It's not just about a co-founder stepping away. It's about the very spirit that shaped Ben & Jerry's from the beginning. You have to know what Ben & Jerry's stood for. This wasn't just another ice cream shop on the corner. It was a place where values and flavors mixed together, creating something truly unique. From day one in 1978, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield built a company with a social mission at its core. They didn't just want to sell ice cream, they wanted to make a difference in the world, and they believed business could be a force for good. They used their platform to champion causes, environmental justice, racial equity, campaign finance reform, and weren't afraid to be controversial. Their activism was bold, sometimes even risky, but it was always authentic. Their values were printed right on the pints. Every scoop was a reminder of what they stood for, and every flavor told a story about their beliefs. People didn't just buy ice cream, they bought into an idea. Customers felt like they were part of something bigger, a movement for positive change, one cone at a time. Independence was the key. It let them choose fair trade over cheap, activism over silence. They could make decisions based on their conscience, not just the bottom line. Their customers became a community, united by a vision for a better world. Ben & Jerry's wasn't just a brand, it was a gathering place for people who cared. This is the legacy Jerry feels is now under threat. When the heart of a company is at stake, it's more than just business, it's personal. Ben & Jerry's proved you could make a profit and a difference. They showed the world that success and social responsibility could go hand in hand. Their boldness made them unique. They inspired other companies to think differently, to take risks, and to stand up for what matters. Now, with Jerry feeling silenced, it's not just about ice cream. It's about whether a business can have a soul. Can a company stay true to its ideals when the founders are no longer at the helm? The loss of that independence feels like a loss for everyone who believed in their mission. It's a moment that makes people question what the future holds for the brand they love. That's why this news hits so hard. It's not just about a company, it's about the hope that business can be a force for good, and what happens when that hope is shaken. If independence was so vital, why sell to Unilever? The answer: a unique deal struck in 2000. As Ben & Jerry's grew, big corporations circled. Ben & Jerry couldn't hold them off forever, so they negotiated a groundbreaking agreement. Unilever would own the company, but an independent board would guard its social mission. This board had real, legally binding power over the brand's activism and values. Unilever handled the business side. The board protected the soul. For years it worked. Ben & Jerry's kept speaking out, launching bold campaigns. The firewall seemed strong, but Jerry's recent statements reveal that firewall has been breached. The promise of independence, he believes, is broken. The very foundation of the deal is now in question. That's why his departure is so devastating. So what went wrong? Tensions between Ben & Jerry's and Unilever simmered for years. The biggest crack appeared in 2021, when the independent board decided to stop selling ice cream in the occupied Palestinian territories, citing company values. The move sparked a firestorm: accusations, legal battles, and pressure on Unilever. Unilever, caught in the crossfire, overruled the board by selling the Israeli business to a local licensee, keeping the ice cream on shelves. This was a turning point, a direct contradiction of the board's authority. For Jerry, it was a violation of the acquisition agreement's spirit and letter. The firewall was tested, and in the founder's eyes, failed. The promise that the board had the final say was exposed as fragile. The relationship between the activist brand and its corporate owner was fractured. After the Israel dispute, trust between Ben & Jerry's and Unilever was shattered. For Jerry, this wasn't just one disagreement. It was proof Unilever wouldn't tolerate the brand's full-throated activism. In his resignation, Jerry used one word: silenced. Imagine building a company on speaking out, only to feel muzzled by your own parent company. For Jerry, the brand was losing its soul. Funky flavors on the outside, but hollow within. He faced a choice: stay loyal to the company or to the values that inspired it. His conscience won. Jerry's public resignation is a protest, a final stand for Ben & Jerry's independence. He's shining a light on what he sees as a betrayal of the original agreement. When activism becomes a marketing gimmick, he can't be part of it. The silence became so deafening he had to walk away. Jerry's core argument: Ben & Jerry's social mission and independence are inseparable. The brand's power came from its freedom to act on its convictions, no matter how messy. Now, Jerry sees a slow erosion of that independence, a chipping away at the board's authority. The Israel conflict was just the most visible example. Insiders say Unilever has pushed back in other ways too. For Unilever, profit and risk management come first. A renegade ice cream brand is a liability in a corporate machine. This creates a chilling effect. When the parent company can overrule the board, bold stands become riskier. The voice isn't cut off, but it's muzzled, forced to be quieter, more cautious. For Jerry, that's a betrayal of the brand's identity. A cautious Ben & Jerry's is just another ice cream brand. The social mission becomes a marketing story, not a living practice. Unilever's control, he believes, is stripping away what made the company special. The voice that once roared for justice is now a whisper. Ben & Jerry's and Unilever, a classic difficult marriage. On one side, the activist brand, born from counterculture, measuring success and social impact. On the other, the corporate giant, focused on profit, stability, and risk avoidance. For a while it worked, but their core differences were bound to clash. The activist's unpredictability makes the corporate parent nervous. What one sees as principle, the other sees as a threat. The marriage was built on a promise: the artist could remain free. Now the business person finds that freedom too costly. Jerry's resignation is his declaration that the marriage has failed. The Ben & Jerry's experiment was supposed to be a model. Now it's a cautionary tale. Mission-driven companies everywhere should take note. With Jerry gone, what's next for Ben & Jerry's? And for us, the fans? The ice cream won't change overnight. The pints will still be in the freezer aisle. Unilever knows the brand's reputation for quality is key. But the real change may be in the brand's voice and activism. Will Ben & Jerry's keep challenging the powerful, or will its mission become safer, more corporate? Jerry's exit could inspire the board to fight harder, or make them more cautious. The outcome will shape the brand's future. For customers, it's a choice: buy for taste, or hold the brand accountable to its values. Jerry's departure puts a spotlight on Ben and Jerry's actions from here on out. The battle for the brand's soul is just beginning. This story is bigger than Ben & Jerry's or Unilever. It's a question that echoes through boardrooms and break rooms everywhere, wherever people try to balance purpose with profit. It's about whether a company built on social values can keep its soul after being sold to a corporate giant. Can ideals survive when the bottom line becomes the main focus? Jerry Greenfield's painful decision suggests it's incredibly difficult. Even the most passionate founders can find themselves at odds with the new reality. He tried to make it work, crafting a unique legal structure to protect the company's mission. He fought to embed values into the DNA of the business, hoping they would endure. But his departure is a somber verdict. Sometimes the system is stronger than the individual. Good intentions and contracts may not be enough. Legal frameworks can only go so far when the culture starts to shift. The relentless drive for profit can wear down even the strongest firewalls. The pressure to deliver quarterly results can overshadow long-term vision. It's a sobering lesson for social entrepreneurs everywhere. The dream of changing the world through business is noble, but it's also fragile. A social mission isn't static. It needs constant vigilance and courage. It must be renewed every day, in every decision. When commitment at the top wavers, the company's soul is at risk. Jerry's legacy is secure. He showed that leadership is about more than profit. He proved a company can lead with its heart. His example inspires others to try, even when the odds are long. His final act is one of integrity, not failure. Sometimes walking away is the bravest choice. He reminds us to stay true to our values, even if it means walking away. The real test is not what we say, but what we do when it matters most. The question he leaves us, one that every leader must answer for themselves: what is the price of our silence when we see our values slipping away? And what is the true value of our soul if we lose it in the pursuit of success?